what is dynamic application security testing, or dast as we sometimes call it? So we talked in another video about static application security testing, so SAST, and static means your written code. It means unchanging. Dynamic is the opposite. It means changing, moving, interacting. And so when we say dynamic application security testing, we mean we are testing the application in a dynamic state while it's running. So dast tools will actually interact with your application. So the first thing it does is it just kind of watches. It's like, what's going on over there? And it'll just do passive viewing of what's happening with your application. So usually this consists of, if it's a web app, it will proxy your web app. It watches the requests and the responses go back and forth. And then it will start adding its own stuff. It'll start scripting different changes, repeating things, adding its own flair, trying to just poke and prod to see if it can find a place that your application has a weakness. A lot of dast tools contain fuzzers. And so what fuzzers do is it will test all of your input. It'll add more and more. It starts with random things and then it gets a bit more specific over time. But what it's trying to do is see all of the different things that it can try to get past your input validation. And so dast tools often contain a combination of all of those things. So it's proxying your web app. It's doing a passive scan, like looking at the requests and responses for obvious things like, oh, we're sending a cookie and the secure flag isn't set. I'm going to mark that in my report. And then dynamically interacting with your application and attacking it with scripts that it has written from all that it has observed. And so that is dynamic application security testing, which, as you can see, is very different from SAST, static application security testing, which is a review of the written code. Up next, we are going to talk about secret scanning.